Welcome to Thrashcast. My name is Billy, and I'm your host today. Um, we definitely have a special episode today. We're number 50. So that's pretty cool. I mean, Jim announced last week that it was our 1 year anniversary. So now the very next week we hit the big milestone, the big 50. It's catching up to our age, guys.
Yeah.
Yep, yep,
Not
yep.
quite, but in another month we'll be about even. Uh,
Yep.
So, first and foremost, I want to thank everyone who's been watching and following Thrashcast. I mean, we love doing this, but it's obviously great that we got folks watching. Secondly, I just want to give a big thank you to my co-hosts. Um, Jim and Ken, like I gotta say, guys, it's been a pleasure working with you. I mean, it's been a year.
Yep.
Not only is it, fun doing this and working together, but I feel we've become pretty good friends in the process. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that's all cool and that's all bonus and that's great. And then lastly, just want to do a special shout out. I mean, you see the three of us on screen every day for good or bad, but we want to call out Rich. Rich does all the editing and takes care of all the business behind the scenes. So without Rich, there's no Thrashcast,
Yeah.
and
Right.
there's no the three of us doing a show. So
Sure.
thank you, Rich. And so that's a thanks to Rich, a thanks to the fans, a thanks to you guys, Jim and Ken. So yeah, really great, special to us, the 50th episode. And then Ken or Jim, anything you guys want to say about the 50th?
Yeah.
No,
I want to
go for
thank
it,
Rich
Jim.
as well. I mean, Ken's been working with him for a long time. We've been working with him for a year, and he's the sort of the brains behind the scenes here that makes everything looks good and puts pieces everything together. Without him, it's just and I know Kenda, we it's really nice to have that support system and try different things. And I think he's got some great ideas. So thanks a lot, Rich, and thanks a lot to the fans. We got to get
Woohoo.
those subs up there. So let's keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Rich and I have been working together for years. We started Horror Metal Sounds back in 2011. So, I mean, it's been, more than, well, we started in 2011. We launched in 2012. So we've been doing this for quite a long time. Rich is really good with editing. Him and I used to make short films way back in the day before we actually started doing this. We did comic books together, so I mean, we've been like I've been a friend of his for years and years. We went to art school together, so he's a great guy, and I'm happy that we have the back support to make this work for us with the graphics, the logos, and all the fun stuff. So
Yeah.
number 50, and then 50 more to go after that for sure.
Cool.
Yep.
And Ken, I don't even know the answer to this question, but does Rich like metal?
Oh, you kidding me? He grew up heavy metal.
Oh, I mean, so I mean, why don't we? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's camera shy, but if not, let's
Yeah,
have
we have him
an
on.
episode one time.
Yeah, we can have. I'll ask him. Yeah, he's. I think I told you guys he used to be in a band.
Oh yeah.
He had
Okay.
his own. He had his own metal band back in the day. They sort of, if you wanted to know the style, it wasn't thrash. He was originally in a thrash band before he joined his second band, which they're more kind of like in the Faith No More kind of style,
Okay.
kind of that kind of progressive style. But yeah, he was in a band for years. He had like hair down to his ass back in the day
All
when I
right.
first
Cool.
knew him. Like he's changed much over the years. But yeah, he's a metalhead. He's been to tons of shows. He's a huge Maiden fan.
Cool.
He likes some thrash, but he's into like he was into like White Zombie. He was into Iron Maiden. Yeah, Faith No More. He likes all that stuff. So yeah,
Okay. Cool.
he's a long
Cool.
time metalhead.
All right.
Trust
Well,
me.
sounds good. I mean, maybe if there's ever an episode he's interested, we can have him on.
Sure, I'll ask him. Of course,
Cool.
absolutely.
Okay, so speaking of Thrashcast, I mean, where can people find us? I mean, we're at www.horrormetalsounds.com and on YouTube, Horror Metal Sounds at keng.2864. And as always, I'm going to ask you to please like and subscribe to all the content we put out there. It really helps our channel grow, and we certainly appreciate it. Just a quick update on our subscriber count. Jim announced, was it Jim or was it Jim hosted last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim announced the that we had achieved our 1,000 sub goal. It was an aggressive goal that actually I think
Yeah.
Jim set for mid-March. So
Good.
I would have bet anything we weren't going to hit it when he first mentioned it a few months ago, but he was right. And so update in the past week, interestingly enough, we actually doubled our subs, and maybe not quite today, but it is imminent that we went from 1K to 2K.
We
And so
did do it,
that's,
good Billy. We did.
sorry?
We're over 2K now.
Oh, we are over.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
we
yeah,
did.
so over 2K. So yeah, so that's I mean certainly beyond my expectations and thoughts. So um thanks everyone for the subscribing. I mean, certain we know Thrashcast plays a big part in that.
Yes.
We're definitely getting good views, and people are attracted to the shorts. I mean, we do these podcasts, these 2 hour monster episodes, but there's plenty of material up at Horror Metal Sounds of smaller clips, smaller videos, and even pieces of these shows. So by all means, go check that out. I think there's some interesting content there, and we get it. I mean, not everyone has 2 hours every single week. Although we like to think the content's worth the time and effort, but also keep an eye out for all those shorts and 5 and 10 minute videos that are on the site.
News clips, Billy, news clips, right? Because we do that.
Yeah, news
Because
clips.
we clip all the news from each show. So if you just want to hear the news of what we're talking about, you can do that too.
So Ken, when you're on the channel, like I know you can, like I've gone to like Horror Metal Sounds, I'll go to videos or I'll go to shorts. Like, can you find the news just separately, or is it just still scrolling through?
No, you can find it separately. We do them. We do them as separate, as like separate videos.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean, is there like a header that says news and you can click it, or no?
Oh no,
You
I
go to
think
videos.
the way they do it, they kind of lump the videos in together.
Okay.
So we don't. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't like sort of separate that. It's all just lumped in together. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
that's how
but
they.
it's
That's
easy
how
to
they do it.
find, right? You just go to
Oh,
video.
yeah.
Yeah, you just if you click on
Right?
if you go to the channel, click on the videos, yeah, you'll find everything there. Like they're all interspersed. So like you'll get a podcast episode, then you'll get a news episode. So they're kind of done that way, but you just have to scroll through them to find them.
Cool. All right. So good news there. I mean, good news we hit episode 50 a year later.
Yeah.
News we're at 2,000 subscribers. So as Ken said, there's many more to come, and we keep
Mhm.
planning and thinking of episodes, and we continue to switch up little pieces and little parts of the episodes to keep it fresh. And on that note, let's talk about today's agenda, because that's very much along those lines. So today we're not covering a specific album. We're actually going to each discuss our top 10 albums, I think I can say of all time, and it's not limited to thrash. So I already know Jimmy, we were doing some chatting before. He's got some non-thrash albums.
Yeah.
I got some non-thrash albums. I don't know about Ken, but we'll see.
I do. I
You
do.
do? Okay. So we'll see as we go through. We'll each sort of do two albums, work our way from 10 to number one. And then lastly, in honor of this being the 50th episode, we're each going to reflect back and pick our best or our favorite personal episode of Thrashcast and give a quick overview of that episode. So I think that should be fun. Looking forward to hearing what you guys got to say on that front.
Cool.
Okay, so let's go to, before we do that, our normal What's Spinning and News segment. Jim, do you want to kick us off here?
Sure. Just a quick news item. I see Dave Mustaine posted, and I reposted last night. He's had a picture of himself working in the studio on album 17. So seems to be going forward. I'm kind of definitely excited to see some news on that. I know the record company, they switched record companies.
That's right.
And I believe they had already announced there was going to be a record. But the fact that there was a cool picture of him kind of slunched over his guitar there, working away. I mean, that's really cool. I like clips like that because it's just like, yeah, okay. He's doing something. So there's something in the works there. And we know that he just replaced guitar players. So generally there's usually a member change almost every album. So he usually wants to jump right back in there and kind of, he doesn't sit around and wait too long. And that's what I like. So hopefully it's basically as good as The Dying and the Sick, the last album. But I'm hoping maybe a little bit shorter, less songs, but better quality. Like, I hope this is one of the ones that we'll be talking about maybe in a year's time, saying, wow, what a great album for a 17th album. So that would be really, really cool. So
what's the new label, Jim?
I'm not even sure. I didn't see it, but I think, I heard somewhere, I read somewhere that he switched. Do you know it, Ken?
Yeah, it's an imprint. It's going to be an imprint label.
Okay.
That started. I forget what label he's on, but it's a brand new imprint.
Yeah.
We talked about it like I think a couple weeks back. Where I know I mentioned it in one of my news items that it's a brand new imprint that he's going to be that they asked him to be a part of. So he's moved the Megadeth whole brand over there. I just wish I could remember. I can't remember offhand the name of the label.
That's fine. Well, there's the value of the news episodes. I need to go and rewatch and find the news
exactly.
Exactly. And what I'm spinning this week, I got a couple of new additions. This one I forgot to show over the last couple of weeks. I picked up Battalions of Fear,
Good one.
Blind Guardian. This is the double CD re-release edition that happened, thanks to Billy, who unfortunately, thanks to Billy, but then Billy kind of is putting me in the poorhouse, got me to order from Nuclear Blast on a sale, and they just had another sale. And with Nuclear Blast, the more you buy, the cheaper shipping you get. So it's like it would have cost like $30 to ship 2 CDs. It's costing like $31 to ship 6 CDs. So it's almost like you got to kind of do it that way. So I was able to, but I mean, some really good deals on there. And when they have their sale, you can pick up like a lot of back catalog stuff. I mean, this would sell like on Amazon as high as $30. And they're Canadian. I got it for 11 on a deal. So landed at about $15, which is really, really affordable, especially when you're buying so many. And I'm also collecting the back catalogs of Bonfire.
Yeah, so, I noticed that.
And I've been like totally addicted to this band. And it's kind of funny because I posted one of their 1980s video for Sleeping All Alone the other day. It's just so 1980s. It's cool. But these are actually the 2023 edition. So they brought out, this is their second album, Bonfire, Fireworks. So they brought out their first, I think, 3 albums, and they've re-released them in 2023 with all the new band members that are playing on the album. So there is definitely a more modernized sound to it. And I think it's really good. And I have this on cassette, but the cassette has the North American cover. This would be the European cover back in the day. The North American cover had the members on it kind of in fire. So I have the cassette, but like with bands like this, they've got a humongous catalog, and it's all really, really good. We're talking kind of a traditional metal. It's people, more like a kind of like a mix of LA Guns, Guns N' Roses, maybe a little bit of symphonic metal in there every now and then, and maybe even hard rock more so than even metal. And it's kind of really cool. It's not cheesy hair metal. It's really good stuff. And the video for Sleeping All Alone was quite funny. It's them live playing, and they're all their 80s hair, and they're just playing, and it's really cool. Kind of some live shots in that German band. and I really, really, I've been really digging them lately. So people should definitely check it out. Their new album, Higher Ground, just came out the end of 2024, and I only just like I had it on order, and it only just came because some stuff has been coming in delayed. But I've been playing the hell out of this stuff, so check it out.
Cool.
And that's all I got, guys.
Okay, Ken, anything on your side?
Yeah, there's one news item that I saw just was it earlier today. So Gary Holt has announced that they have two actually Exodus albums that they're wrapping up, not one but two. So apparently he's let the cat out of the bag that they've actually recording two albums back to back. They have enough material for two albums, which is interesting. So I was like, well, they must be really working hard to get that music out. And he did say that Tom Hunting is actually just finishing up his drums, recording drum parts in the studio this week. So it's like, all right, interesting. Two albums coming out. He didn't even say when the two albums are coming out, but it looks like you're going to be getting back-to-back albums from the band, which is interesting. We'll have to see how that goes.
I think we've talked about that a few times, right? Often when there's two albums in a short period of time, it always tends to be there's one good album of material, but I don't know.
Well, it's almost repeating itself because they did that with Exhibition A and or Trossi Exhibition A and B.
B, yeah.
Yeah, because I liked A, but I didn't like B.
Yeah.
That all in 1 year? I didn't know that.
Well, they were kind of close. Yeah, they were close. Yeah, Jim's right. They came out relatively around the same time, like within like a year two, but they did record both those albums back to back before they were released, and they were all right, but I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see what this is going to be like now, with two albums, I guess, recorded back to back. I don't know, hard to say. I hope it's good.
Man, I'm not holding out any hope. The camp has pissed me off so much that I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of dejected. I mean, obviously I'll support it, but I just like, man, come on, guys.
Yeah. And I'm not even sure the last two albums, which were not done two at once, even had a full album worth of material on each of those. I thought there were a couple of weak tracks on each of those albums for sure.
Yeah. Blood In, Blood Out was wasn't the best.
What was the last one? Persona
Non Grata. Yeah, that one was a bit better than Blood In, Blood Out.
I agree.
But I hear what you're saying, Billy. It's like, eventually you start running out of steam, or you start like repeating the same ideas over and over. I mean, you can only write so many riffs. I don't care who you are, how great of a player you are. You can only write so many riffs, and eventually it starts to sound all the same. But
well, it'd be cool if they released some separately together, like Guns N' Roses did back in the day, where you could get a deal on both of them. Because I think that even though one outsold the other one, they were both pretty. I mean, they would have had one mega album if they only had put out one. But to be honest with you, it was pretty good. Both albums were pretty good, and I bought both of them when I went to the record store because they were, I think, on sale for $12.99 each. And if you bought both of them, or they were $15.99 for one, so. I mean, it's just, what a way to boost your numbers and pass along a little bit of a deal to your fans. But who knows? They're nowhere near the size of Guns N' Roses. So,
No, that's true.
Something tells me we're paying full price for
$32.99, and if you buy both, no deal.
I can't imagine what that would cost if they released like a double album.
Oh yeah, they'd be. I think it'd be smarter to do them singly, like you said. Yeah.
Well, that's what they're
doing. Yeah.
What had said. So it sounds like to me they just basically had all these songs.
Yeah.
And are using as an excuse. Well, we can actually have two recorded albums. I that's what my takeaway is, but I don't know. With these bands, you never know half the time.
Yeah.
And then, so I did pick this up recently for What's Spinning. This is a band called Ancients. It's black metal, kind of more black metal, but I love these guys. I found this album just recently. I was looking for it. I know Gus likes this band. He talks a lot about this band. I think they're pretty solid stuff. It's from 1999. If you like kind of epic sounding black metal where it's where it's a cross, like it's got almost like a very soundtrack kind of vibe to it. I like it. I like this kind of music when it gets more into that kind of epic soundtrack kind of territory, but it's pretty solid stuff. I just found it by accident this week, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta grab that," and I did. So it's one I was missing, and I know, yeah, Gus talks a lot about this album. He loves this band quite a bit. So, but yeah, if you're into black metal and want to give it a try, I'd say go for it. Like it's not bad stuff. It's not your typical black metal, but it has
Yeah.
bits of everything to it. But I like it.
I've got the Back to the Land of the Dead.
Oh, yeah, I had that one.
Yeah, 2016. I don't mind
Right.
them. They're pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a very good band. They're I like their stuff too. It's not, like I said, it's not pure black metal. I guess maybe that's why I like it, because I'm not a huge black metal fan. I like some stuff in the genre, but I think this is pretty cool. I like it. So
Where are they from, Ken?
they're from Canada.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe when you said Gus, they might be a local Toronto band or.
I'm not quite sure where they're from exactly. If it's from BC, I think they're maybe from BC.
Okay.
But this is on Metal Blade. I know this album was on Metal Blade, so.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's on Metal Blade. This is their 1999 album. So they've got a bunch of albums out. The one that Jim's talking about is one of their more recent albums. But they're pretty solid stuff. I don't think they get a lot of people talking about them, but I like their stuff. But yeah, that's all I have for today.
Okay, cool. So one news item, it's been in the news this week. So the band Hellstar, vocalist and band leader James Rivera announced a new album.
Cool.
And I don't know if you guys saw it, or Ken in particular. The album artwork is crazy.
No, I haven't seen it.
Really good. So yeah, you could just go to like Facebook, Hellstar, or James's homepage, and it's plastered all over there. But the album's called The Devil's Masquerade. No official release date, but March 21st, the first single comes out. It'll be, what's that, like next week, like next Friday?
Yeah,
next week.
Called Seek Out Your Sins. So that should be pretty cool. I mean, there's been nothing in like 9 or 10 years. So I think that'll be interesting. I mean, the band continues to play live, particularly at Hell's Heroes Festival in Texas, because it's like right by James's house. So he's a regular there. He played 2 times last year, and he's playing this year again. So
nice.
But yeah, the album artwork caught my attention, and I'm curious to see. Like, James sounded great when I saw him live last year. So I'm really curious to see what he's up to in terms of the band. Then in terms of what's spinning, so that's a bit of a segue, Hellstar and Hell's Heroes. So Wednesday's the pre-party. So I make my way down Wednesday morning, and by 4:00, the pre-party will start. So this week I pulled out the 4 albums from the 4 headliners just to get me ready. Headliners, I mean, 4 of the main bands. Right. There's like maybe 10 bands at the pre-party. So I was spinning... sorry, it's cracked here, but
nice. I love that album.
Yeah, that's a great album. Nosferatu. Am I saying that right, Ken?
Yeah. Nosferatu.
So that's pretty cool. I have all their stuff on CD. I don't have anything on vinyl. I don't know.
Yeah, I own all their stuff on CD too.
Yeah. And then also that night coming up right after will be Satan. So I'm playing the first one. Then we get next up Liege Lord.
Great band
coming in. So that's cool. And then it'll close off with
Riot 5.
With Riot. So that's pretty damn cool, right? When that's your pre-party. That shows you how stacked the lineup is when they're not even part of the main festival.
Well, Billy, is Liege Lord, are they reformed, or is it just like a special reunion show?
I think it's I would say a special reunion show, only because I don't know. I just say that because Hell's Heroes is very good at getting bands to come together who haven't played in a while and do one-offs. Like, they don't like just pulling like whoever's on the road right now. So it's very different lineup. So they've been very successful at that. So I'm gonna guess. I've heard nothing about a new album.
No, me neither.
Yeah, like is it Metal Blade they were on? Somebody's reissuing the new Lee's Lord, the old Lee's Lord album, so that could be a.
Yeah. So I'm assuming Joe Como returned back as he was their lead vocalist.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll let you know when I see them.
Okay, yeah. I'd be interested to hear.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes. So,
Okay, cool.
all right, so that covers the news. So now we'll get into our top 10 albums. So I'm just gonna grab my stack here. Oh, vinyl stacks are heavy. Okay. So as I said, we'll do two each and rotate. And as always, feel free to jump in and share any thoughts or comments as we each go through. So maybe we'll do Jim, Ken, and then myself and rotate that
Sure.
one.
Sure.
Yeah. Go
Okay.
for it.
So
Okay,
Jim,
so my number 10 is a Canadian band. I'm going to go with Alice in Hell,
oh, okay.
Annihilator. I mean, I love this album, love this band. This is the one that started it all. I remember, like, when I picked my list, I went through what I'm listening now, also went through what I was listening back in the day, and this is definitely in my rotation almost weekly. Nowadays, I got to see in September, I got to see them do this album, Jeff do this album live. Live through a live stream podcast, which was great. They did the whole thing and some of the songs they hadn't done since their first tour and stuff. So it was really, really neat. This is, by the way, 1988, with the original Randy Rampage. I mean, guys, it's just a classic through and through. I love this. I mean, I could pick the next album, Never Neverland, as well, which was one of my favorites. This one just beats it out for me. I like everything on it. Burns Like a Buzzsaw Blade is probably one of my favorite songs. And I got to be honest, like some of these that they just played live with the new band he had at the time back in September, I think it was 2024. It sounded like this didn't age at all. It was fast and really aggressive and just sounded so good. And I mean, in between the songs, they were tired. I mean, this is a tiring album I can imagine to play because it is just a total explosive experience. Crystal Ann, the right from the start of the sort of intro instrumental is wicked, and Alice in Hell, and you've got Human Insecticides, a wicked song. I mean, the whole thing is really, really cool. And Lygia is one of my favorite songs as well. And I don't think that one was ever played other than the first tour. So really, really cool. He talked a lot about the stories about this album, recording it. He blew out his stomach lining drinking. He was sort of addicted to coffee. He never drank coffee before. And he's had something like 10 or 12 coffees and ended up blowing out like part of his stomach and had to go in the hospital. So he was recording the album in a lot of pain and stuff. And, Randy coming in as the singer and then just, having to leave the tour a year later because he wanted to go get his benefits package he was a longshoreman in DC. So it's like almost like this album that just was on the verge. And I mean, everybody who knows Annihilator, this would be probably in their top 2 at least, if not their top 1. And I know you guys love it. So
yeah,
that's my first pick.
And a reminder for folks, there's an episode of that on Thrashcast.
Yes.
So,
absolutely.
You can find it in the video playlist.
Yep. Check it out. My second one, which, Billy, can you hold up the album for me?
Oh, okay. Hang on. I gotta get it because we haven't obviously placed. We have the order quite different then, because you're calling for it already here.
Yeah. I went with my number 9 is Obituary, Cause of Death.
Good one.
Oh man, I love this album. Obituary is probably my all-time favorite death metal band. Their last album I think was in 2022 or 2023. 2023. It was my number 1 pick for that year. Dying of Everything. This is their 1990 release, so this would be their sophomore album. some great stuff on here. I mean, Slowly We Rot was their first album, which was amazing in 1989. But I picked this one. This one is when I kind of got into them, and I think is a more solid production wise, and they really find their sound on it. The End Complete, the next album, is one of my favorites as well. And I mean, I have so many favorite Obituary albums. I don't think they put out a bad album in my mind, anyways. Body Bag, Chopped in Half is a wicked song. And I really like the fact they covered Circle of the Tyrants by Celtic Frost. I mean, and they still play it live to today. I mean, I had gotten a live stream on I got the live stream for the End Complete, where they were doing the whole album. And then they were doing show 2 was the whole album in its entirety in their rehearsal space. And then show 1 was them getting ready for their tour, and they did the Circle of Tyrants. It was amazing, sounded so good. And I mean, just like everything that they did sounded so good. And what a killer band. Absolutely love it. I gotta get I believe there's a remastered version with some bonus tracks on it. I may start hunting them down for some of the more earlier records, but this is Floridian death metal at its best. I do have another death metal band that's a little higher in my rankings, but and maybe this should have been higher now that I'm looking at my list. But anyways, I put it at 9. So awesome album.
Cool. Already doubting your list, eh, Jim? You're only at 10 and 9. Well, that's all right. Yeah, this was a hard exercise. So
yeah,
we'd all agree. If we did it again a month from now, we'd have different stuff.
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah. All right, Ken, your turn. Number 10.
Okay, number 10. This might be a little bit of a different choice, but I like this album, so I went with Death Angel, Frolic Through the Park.
Nice.
For some reason, this album always resonated with me, probably because it's one of the first Death Angel albums I really kind of got into. And I've always liked the opening track, Welcome to the Third Floor. And I like that track Bored. I know it's a quirky number, and it did get some airplay, and I always liked it. But this album, I think, is still pretty solid for Death Angel. I mean, yeah, obviously by this album, you can see they're starting to go more into their progressive roots, change the sound a little bit, not entirely thrash, but kind of metal, some funk, some groove, obviously, in this album. But I've always liked it. I've always thought it was one of those albums that kind of piqued my interest as soon as I heard the song Bored. Oh, I love that song. It's just, I don't know. I just always liked that song quite a bit. So,
well, and you know what? It started like that's where like Act 3, which came up next, was such a great, I mean, that's the album that broke them out, but they started planting the seeds for that in this album. I think they did. Because the first one, the Ultraviolence, was so aggressive and so thrashy that I agree with you 100%. I think Frolic in the Park, I think it gets overlooked a lot.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because it's sandwiched in between the first album and the third.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure, I would agree with you on that one. But
yeah, it's a great album.
Yeah, if you give it a chance, it's a good album. I mean, maybe I can kind of compare this to Megadeth when they released So Far So What So Good, where it's like it's that middle album in between two really good, solid classic albums. This is probably the same, but I don't know. I've always appreciated the sound and the style, and there's definitely a lot more groove metal, but I don't know. I've always liked it. It's one of those albums that I still like to put on because it's a bit different from what you get from the other two albums.
Oh yeah.
And did we cover that? Why isn't I think we covered that?
No, we haven't yet.
We did the Ultraviolence.
Death Angel yet?
Yeah.
Oh no, Ultraviolence. Yeah, Ultraviolence. Yeah.
So you can plug that one too, Billy. Yeah. We've done a podcast on Ultraviolence, but that was it.
But we're gonna have to do a podcast on this one.
Oh yeah. I think we should, because this is a great album. I totally love this album. It's the first album I bought from Death Angel, and I always like I said, when I heard Bored, I just love that song. It just resonates with me. And number 9, again, we've done a podcast on this too already, but this is Cracked Brain.
Oh yeah.
It is pretty much my favorite Destruction album. I know it's doesn't have smear on it, and I know it's Andre Grieder with the vocals, but I always thought he brought something unique to the band at this time. And for 1990, it's a pretty solid thrash metal album. That cover is still one of my all-time favorite thrash metal covers. I totally love that cover. And the song Crack Brain is great. Every song is really, really solid. There's not a bad song on this album, I think. And again, Mike is always the star of the show, in my mind. Yeah, I love this album. It's just whatever reasons I whenever I go to Destruction, I always go to Crack Brain. I like listening to it. It's different. And as you know, Andre Grieder is the vocalist of Poltergeist. So this is his second thrash metal album. And if you want to hear him on Poltergeist, I even say listen to those albums because they're good too. They're equally as good albums in my mind. You won't go wrong with it. And the last Poltergeist, which was a few years ago, I think, wasn't it, Billy? Like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Now?
but it was great for their.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. Yes, I
Maybe
agree.
I don't know why I'm thinking 2020. I could be wrong, but
Yeah, I think you're about right. 2020. Yeah,
somewhere around there.
around the start of the pandemic, I think it came out,
Yeah,
or just
maybe. Yeah,
before the pandemic.
yeah, yeah.
But that's a really good album. I think they're a really good band and
I like it.
totally underrated. Totally underrated. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's an awesome album. So that's my two.
And that Destruction's pretty underrated, right? You don't
Yes.
hear too many people. Like I forget. I think somewhere along the way we did a Destruction ranking. For me, that was probably like third or something. It was right up there.
Yeah, it deserves to be there. I mean, it's a bit different, but
yeah, it's hard for some people, I think, because it doesn't have smear, right? But
yeah, different vocalist. But I think he's great. I think Andre Grieder is great.
Too.
I have no problem with that guy at all.
I mean, whether or not we want him in Destruction, he arguably he's a better vocalist.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean,
so
I don't mind Smear.
Yeah, me too.
He's like the longtime guy in the band.
Yeah.
You know, it's great, but I don't mind the Greeter coming in as a replacement. I thought he was an adequate replacement, you know.
Yep. No, I agree.
That's my
okay. So my 10 and 9 are kind of interchangeable. You can flip them around 9, 10, 10, 9. And I would argue they're both incredibly underrated. So this one's a bit different. I'm going 1993. Life of Agony, River Runs Red. I mean, this album has like a cult following, right? You either love it or you don't really care for it. I mean, I'll be the first to admit every album after this weakens considerably, but I truly believe this is a masterpiece. It's a mix of different styles. Like they're from New York area, so it's like New York hardcore. There's some groove metal, some doom metal, tradition. It's everything, right? I don't even know how you characterize it. It's 93. I've seen people call it alternative metal. I don't really agree with that. But I mean, whatever floats your boat. It's a concept album about like a young man who just has like everything going wrong in his life and it works his way through it. And basically there's narrative pieces between the songs right up to the very end where he tries to where he slices his wrists is pretty powerful and his mother finds him there bleeding and so it's it's an intense album lyrically themes I mean but you know it's just it's emotionally powerful not just musically but the lyrics the songwriting's fantastic. Like I don't know why everyone doesn't love this. It's every song is filled with massive hooks. It's like the choruses are so catchy, and that hardcore bass, right? I mean, the bass lines are all over this thing. And you know, when I see these guys live, you just want to like get yourself in the pit. It's just fantastic. I love it. But like I said, sadly enough, if somebody goes and listens to the later albums, you'll never have any idea that what the special of what's in this album. So that's my number 10. Next up, I'm going, and I know most people wouldn't pick this from the band. I'm going Sanctuary. Sorry, phones are falling out here. So
Yeah.
1990 Into the Mirror Black. So I'm a massive Warren Dane fan. Sanctuary. I might be in the minority, but I much prefer Sanctuary over Nevermore. Refuge
Mhm.
Denied often gets the shout out, mainly because I mean it's more raw aggression, and really you're getting Worrell's like insane screams. But he's a little more constrained on Mirror Black. But the genius of this album is the emotive tones of his voice. Like he goes into the deep end in those like powerful slow sections, and then he'll like fire off the high end. But again, just like the Life of Agony, it just has this layer of raw emotion through all the songs that you just don't have that in Refuge Denied. So for
So
me,
it's
it's
polished, right?
huh?
It's more polished, the second album.
Oh, no, it's definitely more polished. It's more refined. Uh, but yeah, I just think it's a much more emotional album. And I think it's Warren Dane's best work ever. I'd be curious to what he thinks his best work is. Like in terms as a vocalist, what he likes best. Sadly, we'll never know. Uh, so
Well, like I can tell
um,
you, it would definitely be like a Nevermore. Obviously, that's his current band, right?
I don't know. The Year the Sun Died, I like that album quite a bit.
Yeah, that album's okay. Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know. Or who knows? He might just say the best is when he was at the peak of his vocal range and he might go Refuge Denied, right? Who knows?
true.
Yeah.
But
And Mustaine
solo
produced it,
stuff,
so
right? He has a few solo albums too.
yeah. You're right. You're right. Who knows what he would have picked?
Yeah, no, yeah. But yeah, so I'm a big fan of this album. I'm always promoting it. I love Refuge Denied, but I just don't think it holds a candle to this album, particularly in Worrell's vocal range and what he's doing on here. So
True.
those are my two picks.
Cool.
That kind of takes care of my non-thrash death items. They were up at number 10 and 9. So
Nice.
Jim, will go over to you at number 8 and number 7.
Okay, my number 8, I'm going traditional route. This album is one of my favorite all-time albums. Dio,
Ooh, nice.
Holy Diver. Probably, I mean, look, I love The Last in Line. Even the latter Dio stuff I really, really like. But I mean, this was the first, and you know, after Black Sabbath, this was phenomenal. I thought it just, I mean, so many good songs on here. 1983, Don't Talk to Strangers, everything from Stand Up and Shout, Holy Diver, Gypsy, it's just so good. And I'm a huge Dio fan, probably one of my favorite all time traditional metal vocalists. And I mean, I just love it. I know they just did a remaster of this. Barris, I believe, did it. We can buy it, and they redid the cover art in that. I'm not a fan of that as much.
Well, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's in a. You can get it. I think it's 2 CDs or 3 CDs, and
Okay.
it sounds pretty good. Like it sounds pretty good. But like they redid the cover art, and the cover art
Oh,
looks a
too
lot
bad.
different. You can see the whole priest, and it
Oh,
just
okay.
doesn't look the same as what I'm used to being that Dio cover. But I mean, this. There's times I go into I listen to The Last in Line like crazy. Dream
Yeah.
Evil, love that CD.
Yeah, me too.
I even like. I think it was 1990s. Lock Up the Wolves.
Yeah, that's
Like
a good
that album's really, really
That's
good. And a lot of the
good.
stuff I had picked up. Actually, I have it right here. If I move all my box sets out of the way, I picked up the studio albums from 96 to 2004.
Oh, nice.
I think it was last year. So this has all the all the ones on it there. Angry Machines,
Magica?
Killing the Dragon, and that.
Yeah,
So pretty cool pickup there.
nice.
There's only one bonus on it, and I think it's only on one of the CDs where it has an extra song on it. I can't remember which one, but anyways, and then I realized when I bought it, I mean, I have a lot of the CDs anyway, so it was kind of funny, and I was kind of getting it just because I thought there was going to be a lot of extra on it, but there wasn't. So that's that one. And
And
my
Jim, can you
number,
refresh my memory? What comes first, Last in Line or Holy Diver?
Holy
Holy Diver.
Diver.
Holy Diver's first, and then
Yeah.
Last in Line.
And
Okay.
then
And
last
the
one.
Last in Line, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was I picked another Dio album, Rainbow Rising.
Oh, nice.
Being a huge Rainbow fan, especially back in the day. I mean, this has probably my favorite song of all time on it with Stargazer. 8 minutes and 26 seconds. What a fantastic track. But this album only has 6 tracks on it. You got Tarot Woman, Starstruck, Stargazer, Run with the Wolf, Do You Close Your Eyes, and A Light in the Black. I mean, this is just phenomenal album. 1976, so we're going way back. But I just, man, and this is the remastered edition, and I absolutely just blows my mind. So if you get a chance, you want to listen to something really cool, definitely pick this up. It's just so good, and Dio at one of his finest. And I mean, the songs, Stargazer is just such a cool song that it's actually pretty mind blowing. It's nice and long, takes you on this musical journey, and the guitar work in it and his vocals are just so good in it. Probably if we did like a top 10 songs, this would be my number one. So absolutely love that album, play it all the time. And I like a lot of Rainbow. I even like the latter stuff with like all the different, some of the vocalists that came afterwards and that, but nothing beats Dio in this stuff. So really, really good.
Cool.
That's my Did you ever get to see Dio live before you?
No, never did.
Oh, I saw Dio.
I don't think I have either, actually.
Really? You haven't?
No.
I'm shocked. You, of all people, I'm shocked.
No. Like, what would have been Dio. Probably the, like, I wasn't the biggest fan of the later, like, I liked the first two Dio solo albums.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I guess he would have toured before he passed away on the later albums, would have been the tours. Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever saw. I 1 year, this doesn't count, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. But Wacken did a tour where he performed, but it was his hologram.
Yeah.
So that was a bit weird and kind of creepy, and yeah, it's definitely not. It's not the same, but yeah, as Jim was talking about him, I don't think I've ever seen him.
Oh, interesting. I saw the 1990 tour when they did Lock
Up the Wolves?
Yeah. When they came with Killer Doors and Yngwie Malmsteen.
Oh, wicked.
But it was an awesome show.
Yeah.
I had a really good time there.
That's cool.
Oh, man.
See, I'm a huge Yngwie fan. Dehumanizer have been his last tour.
Who? Dehumanizer?
Dio, when he went back to Black Sabbath on Dehumanizer. Was that his solo or before?
That would have been Dehumanizer was that would have been before, I think.
Before, yeah.
Dehumanizer?
Okay. Yeah.
Because that was like much later in the run, but
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 1990s when Lock of the Wolves came out. And I love that album. That was a really good album for me. That was a really good tour too, because you got Killer Doors opening, and I've seen the Dwarves at least 8 or 9 times. Always love their stuff. I think they're
great. And I mean Yngwie. I'm a huge Yngwie fan. I know everybody kind of craps on him, but oh man, I love his albums, and he's such a good guitar player. I mean, give me a break.
Absolutely. Absolutely, dude.
Yeah,
totally love him. I was into him from the start. As soon as he started with the solo albums, I was like, oh, I totally got into that guy. Loved his work.
Yeah, Dehumanizer was like 92, and the tour would have been like 93.
Yeah, I think he came on his later stuff. I think he might have did Angry Machines or Magica, maybe Killing the Dragon, like 2002-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, I
know. I see a lot of later, people. Jim?
Sorry?
Isn't it Magica later?
Yeah, so like you've got, what do I got here? You got Magica's in 2000. The last album was Master of the Moon in 04.
Right. Yeah. I had. That's when they brought Craig Goldie back, I think, on guitars. Yeah. That's what I thought. Okay.
I like that. So many good live albums too. I mean, I've got like I think 5 live albums, like Live at Donington. They keep bringing out. It's really cool, and they keep releasing stuff every now and then, like that box set. The box set was only like $49 to get 5 albums. Nothing really extra in there, but it was still it was cool to have them all in one shot. I was missing 2 of them anyway, so
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Wendy Dio is
Yeah.
a smart business per. I mean, those live albums, I usually have like 6 or 7
Yeah.
doubles. Like every year on Record Store Day, they'll launch a picture disc and
Yeah.
they'll usually do a live album, right? It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
one here
yeah.
was last year's.
It's like most record store owners always joking and saying, I have like picture discs of Dio that I over ordered for like the past like 10 years.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, cool. All right, Ken. 8 and 7.
Okay. All right, number 8. An album that I know a lot of people will probably say it's blasphemous, but I love it. And I went with
Yeah.
Into the Pandemonium. It's probably one of my favorite Frost albums. I know a lot of people will say this is where they started to change
Nah.
the style and sound, but I love this album. I love this album a lot. I mean, when I was in high school, someone handed me a cassette of it and said, "Here, listen to this." And I was like, "Whoa." When I first heard it, it blew me away. I mean, I know there's songs like Mexican Radio, Mesmerize, but I like track number 4, the with it's like the girl singing. I just think that song is so creepy and sorrowful, but it's got a lot of great songs on it. Babylon Fell, A Caress into Oblivion. I think this is a great album. I've always liked it. I know they get slagged a bit for it, but I love that album cover. It's one of my favorite Hieronymus Bosch. It's a detail from a Hieronymus Bosch painting. I think it's
Yeah.
fantastic. I love it. This album, I lived it to death when I first heard it. I wore out that cassette that I had. I couldn't stop listening to this album. And I know people will say, "Oh yeah, it's not that great," but I love this edition that I got. It's like a remastered edition in the booklet, hard case booklet form.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat because you get like a lot of really nice images there from the band. Yeah, this is great. I love the treatment that they gave this. For me, like I love this. It's so beautiful. It's just
Oh yeah.
so beautiful. It's
Oh,
great.
I like that album.
Yeah, I love this album. I
mean, it's avant-garde. It's avant-garde. I mean, the album that came next, anyways, I don't want to talk about that one.
Well, I like that album too, but it was either going to be this, but I knew it would be this one. As much as I love Cold Lake, this album to me was an album that I really gravitated to when I first heard them. And I know it's a first when you first hear something and for a first time, it just holds your interest, like you can't not go on without it. But I love that album.
That's one where they lost me on that one.
Yeah, I remember you saying
I came back to it later to them on some of the stuff, but
yeah,
and that album, there's like 3 or 4 songs I absolutely love.
Yeah.
But the other half where they go a bit more avant-garde, they kind of lost me a bit. But
I could see that. I mean, I could see where the appeal might be lost a little bit because the earlier stuff is really heavy and it's really aggressive, and then you get this where it's like, oh, there's some good moments, but it's certainly a big change up in the styles. Well, I get that. I totally understand why some people won't like it, but for me, it was a first. It's first time I'd heard them. That was the album that I heard. I loved it so much. I played it to death, and I've been a fan obviously ever since from all their stuff. So the next one I'm going to pick. Now, again, there's always like another album to take, but I took this one instead. So I went with Maiden's Seventh Son of a Seventh.
Nice.
One of my favorite Maiden albums. It's total concept album. I saw this tour in Toronto. It was fantastic. Their last major stage show before they started scaling back on No Prayer for the Dying and then moving forward. But I love this album. I thought it was fantastic. Blew me away. I know Guns N' Roses opened for them on the show. We've talked about it already, about how crazy they were live. And when that was the first time I had heard Guns N' Roses and seen them live. But this album, I love this album. I love the concept. I know it's taken from, that cover. I've always loved that Derek Riggs cover. It blows me away to this day. And, the other album that I would have picked would be Somewhere in Time, which I also totally love as well. But it's always been a toss-up between Somewhere in Time and Seventh Son of the Seventh on my 2 favorite Maiden albums. But I think they kind of reached their peak here. All the songs are great. Like Can I Play with Madness is a really, really good video. The Evil That Men Do is great. The Prophecy, Only the Good Die Young.
I think
It's
Is Moonchild on that? That's a
Moonchild,
good,
yes,
yeah.
yes. That's the opening track.
Yeah.
I've played this album to death, and I still play it. It's still on rotation on my iPod. So I mean, it's there, and I listen to it every so often. But I love that album.
I like it. I just there's only one song I hate,
Okay.
and that's "Can I Play with Madness."
Oh, you don't like that song?
So it's just so not. I don't know. It's just too poppy and happy, and I don't know. Like to me, that just feels like Maiden saying, "Let's put a song out there," and to try to dial up the success one more level.
Did you like the video at least,
Oh, yeah, the video's cool. Yeah.
The video's great.
I just mean the song, like
Right.
that.
Yeah,
Like when I listen to the album, and I go back to it a fair amount. Like I always skip that song.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I love that album. I love No Prayer for the Dying. I
Yeah.
love Fear of the Dark.
Yeah,
But see,
that's
I
good
go
too.
into Maiden. I thought Senjutsu, I think when that came out, I think 2022, I think it was. That was my album of the year. I still really liked it. I know you guys aren't that keen on it because there's a lot of long, but like Death of the Celts, there's some really good songs on there. But I get it. It's a little long in the tooth, so to speak. And but I'm huge Bruce Dickinson, huge Maiden fan. So, but yeah, that album is one of my favorites as well.
Yeah, I mean, I like them. My only beef is that I kind of compare them to Metallica in the sense that they're gotta scale back a little bit. These songs are way too fucking long. You don't need like an 11-minute opus. You can go 5 minutes and be a really good song. That's my only beef with modern Iron Maiden, but that's for another time.
No, I agree 100% with that statement. And I'm kind of close to you, Ken. Like I would pick Somewhere in Time as my favorite. I mean,
yeah, I remember you liked that album. Yes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
I'm a toss between the two. I like them both equally. I think that's where they were at the height of their powers on both those albums, I think. But they're both good albums regardless. I've seen both of those tours and they're amazing.
Yeah. No, they're
totally blew me away.
Okay, cool. So my 8 and 7, again, I'm going to use the word interchangeable. They have a lot in common, and they can easily go any way. So this is interesting because I did a list, like a top like 50 list, probably like 2 years ago. And these two albums were my number 11 and 12. And now they've moved up to 8 and 7. I think when I did that list first, I did it more based on what I thought, like in the 80s when they came out. But this time around, I did would I play more. So these two albums replaced, which might be blasphemy. And they're two amazing albums, but they knocked off Testament, The New Order, which is my favorite Testament album. That went to number 11. And Overkill, The Years of Decay, which is hands down my favorite Overkill album.
Yeah.
That's moved to my number 12. And so I still have them right up there. They're still dear to my heart. But if I base it on what I pull off the shelf more, it's going to be these two. So number 8, 1989.
Yeah.
Nice. Extreme Aggression. This was my 11 in my old list. So yeah, I mean, it's my favorite creator. I mean, it's going to be this or Pleasure to Kill will be my favorite. I know they're pretty different. Pleasure to Kill is more rough and raw and aggressive. This is definitely more refined. The band's better musicians. The songwriting's more mature. And I would say, these days, Creator definitely has a melody to their sound, and that was creeping in here as well.
Yeah.
Signs of it. So I love this. Like, I still vividly remember this tour. I saw them play this tour, Montreal. I'm pretty sure it was the Spectrum on St. Catherine Street. But those early shows, like, just stick in my mind. They blew me away as like a young teen. And he just solidified my love for this music.
And we did a show on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that was recent, right? A couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my next one. So I said there's something in common between these two. Can you guys guess my next one?
Mm,
It's got to be Sadis. Or no, sorry.
No.
Who is? Oh, I can't remember.
Okay.
Yes, Sodom. I was trying to
yeah,
figure out
yours.
another jerk. Yeah,
We did a podcast on that too.
yeah,
Exactly, right? So very similar, right? Like as
Yeah.
creator, right? 1989. This is definitely the most mature, the probably the best musicianship. The production's way better, and it's safe to say it's way more melodic than anything that came before this. So yeah, I love this album, killer album cover. Uh,
Yes.
like it's still, I don't want to make it sound like, I mean, I think everyone knows it, right? Like I
yeah,
don't want to make it sound like you don't have that raw, aggressive creator sound. I mean, Sodom sound, because you still do. It's just more refined. But that being said, it is hard to, because I love Persecution Mania.
yeah,
And if the production was better on Persecution Mania, that may replace this. But also, 1989 is my year.
yeah,
Almost
yeah.
everything on my list is 1989, 1990. It's my favorite period in metal. So, um, yeah. So this is my 11 and 12 replacing my
Cool.
old 7 and 8. So,
That's cool.
uh, yeah, both great albums, both from Germany. And as you guys stated, we have podcasts on both of them.
Yeah. Wicked.
Jim?
Okay, so I'm going back to some Floridian death metal here. Awesome, and I left these guys out of my top albums, and I don't understand why. I think I had Spiritual Healing farther back, but I gotta go with Leprosy as my all-time favorite. I mean, I like Scream Bloody Gore is a great album, but this is 1988. One of my favorite songs with Pull the Plug. I mean, like, this only has 8 songs on it, but gets to the point super quick. With the song Leprosy, Open Casket, Primitive Ways. And this is a really cool copy because I've got it on cassette, but this has the disc 2 on it, which has the Leprosy rehearsals in 1987. So them kind of getting ready. They did 2 of them, one in September and one in December. So it's a double disc kind of event. It's pretty cool. I mean, Spiritual Healing, I guess maybe some year or some months I may put that one above instead of Leprosy. Even Individual Thought Patterns, like one of my favorite death albums. But I'm gonna go with today. I'm going with Leprosy, wicked album. And then my number 5, I'm going back to the Dio camp, bringing up some Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. This is amazing. 1980 Sabbath. This would have been the album. I know I got Paranoid probably I got this after 1980. I mean, I was only 9 years old in 1980. I found obviously was a big Ozzy fan and a big Ronnie James Dio fan. Not to take anything away from Ozzy, I could have easily thrown Paranoid in here, but I kind of wanted to only go with one band album because we only had 10. I didn't want to monopolize it. But I mean, this album here just phenomenal. They just released the live kind of box set that they did for the live album, which has a lot of these tracks on it. I just find Dio does a great job live with the Ozzy tracks. But I mean, Neon Nights on this, Children of the Sea, Heaven and Hell, Die Young, one of my favorites. And I remember the video on that. It was kind of a live video. It was really cool. And then again, Mob Rules. I mean, I could have easily probably done this or Mob Rules.
Yeah.
They're so almost equal in my mind. I've just been pulling out this a lot more lately. So good stuff.
So Jim, so I'll ask you as well, Ken. I know mine. I think you kind of hit on it, but what's your the question's what's your favorite Black Sabbath album?
Ooh.
So is that your favorite, Jim? I know you mentioned a couple that are close.
This would be my favorite. I could interchange it with the other Dio one, like the other one from the year later, Mob Rules. I'd break it down to 2. My favorite Ozzy one would probably be either Master Reality or Paranoid. Although the first one's great too, a little shorter, but Those two albums for Ozzy, Mob Rules, and this. Although Dehumanizer's a great album, and I really like that one's one. It is a wicked album. That beats out like maybe Never Say Die. I like Sabotage, but I would definitely I like Dehumanizer's really really good.
Okay, I mean my favorite hands down is Master of Reality.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like Volume 4 is quite popular, but Ken, what would be your pick?
Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, that's good.
My favorite. Yeah, it's my favorite album.
Yeah,
it's the most. I like the album cover, and I think the songs are so. There's a very literate intention behind a lot of the songs.
Yeah,
because obviously they used Aleister Crowley as inspiration in parts of it. I love that album. I totally think that's my favorite album from Sabbath for me.
Actually, you know what, Ken? I would put that ahead of probably Paranoid for me. Yeah, that's a good album. Master of Reality and that. But I mean, yeah, like Volume 4 is a good one. Technical Ecstasy, I wasn't that. I like it, but it's not something that. And Never Say Die for me was a little bit of a letdown. So
yeah, it's okay. It's not the best. I mean, none of the albums are really bad. They're all in the same kind of ballpark. But I just felt to me that Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath just knocked it out of the park for me.
Yeah,
I think it's their best lyrically. I think it's their best album in my mind. But that's I mean, your mileage will vary depending on what you think or what you take out of it. But I love that album cover, and I just love that album. It's so great.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. One thing I'm really looking for is like Sabbath has done a great job like with these recent remasters, right?
Oh yeah,
fixing major issues. So like I actually love Born Again, and that's what they're working on right now is a complete because Born Again has terrible sound and production, and they're working to fix that up. So again, some of the stuff they did with albums that were subpar production is outstanding.
Yeah, like this box set for the Tony Martin era. I mean, you know what? He's a big part of Black Sabbath, and there's some great stuff there.
Yep.
And they just wouldn't really finally released it. And Born Again, a remaster of that would be so awesome.
Yep. All right, cool. We got off on a Black Sabbath tangent, but I guess if you're going to go on a tangent, why not the forefathers of metal?
So, yeah,
absolutely.
Ken, over to you.
All right, so number 6. No surprise to me because it's my favorite amongst the bunch. But Testament's Practice What You Preach.
Yeah.
I love the album cover. I love all the songs on this. It's probably the first album I really got into for Testament. I'd heard their older stuff, but this is the album that I bought and really got into. All the songs are great. Like the title track is awesome. Perilous Nation, Envy Life, I love a lot. Time Is Coming, Blessed Contempt. It's got some really, really good tracks. Some very introspective lyrics, some politically charged lyrics about society and about, the just the overall feeling of society. I think this is a great album. I think it's one of their better albums in my mind. It doesn't, maybe it's a step down from the first two, obviously. But I think this is a fantastic album. I've always loved it. I play this quite a bit, all the time.
And I wouldn't say it's a step down. I'd say it's a little different.
Well, I mean, like in terms of like the intense thrashers. On the first
for me,
two,
that's my second favorite. Like I love that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think we all like it, but I'm just saying, like, if you compare it to like Disciples of the Watch and stuff like that, it doesn't have that kind of like galloping thrash that you got to nose. But this is still good. I think it's a really good album. Maybe a tad more. It's still thrashy, but they tightened up a little bit. I like it. I like the songs on it. I like the way I like how it's written. Lyrically, I think it's one of their better albums in my mind. But they don't write bad albums at all lyrically. I don't think, but no, I like that.
And it's a great third album, right? Like, I mean, because 1 and 2 are in the same camp, right? If they would have came out with another album that sounded like the first two, like that's why I love that. It's so diverse.
Yeah, it's way different. I think it's also probably one of their more commercially successful albums.
Oh yeah,
because I think when this album came out, they really started hitting the mainstream. People knew who they were, and I mean, I was still into Metallica and Anthrax, but when this came out, I was like, whoa, I couldn't stop playing it the year it came out.
Yeah.
And number 5, going back to 87, it seems 87 was a really good year for music for me. One of my favorite albums, Dawkins' Back for the Attack. I
Nice.
totally love this album to death. And I like it for one reason, because it had the title song Dream Warriors, which was, of course, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, which is probably my favorite film of that series. And I loved it. I love the song. The song is so great. I play that song all the time. The whole album is totally awesome. Lynch is amazing on this album. Like, you get like Miss Heaven Sent, Mr. Scary. You get it's just great. All the songs are fantastic. There's not one song in this album I don't like. Even the opener, Kiss of Death, is awesome.
Yeah.
This was probably Don at his peak when he really had that voice. And it's a shame what happened afterwards, but I love this album. As soon as it came out, I bought it and I played this to death on cassette, mind you. And I played it to death I just couldn't stop playing it. I loved it.
Their last
I didn't see that one coming. I never heard you mention them before, Kent.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite kind of traditional metal albums. What are you gonna say, Jim?
Yeah, their last album that came out not last year, the year before, that was in my top 20. And a really cool factoid with Don. I mean, his voice is kind of going, but that was a really good album, and I really liked it. And he produced his own video, paid for it, produced it, made it, and I think it's currently hit over 1 million streams, which he was at 500,000 when the album came out, and was really like he was on a new record label, and they didn't really have the money to push it. So he said, look, I want to do this, and I know what I'm going to do, and I know how I'm going to do it. And he just, for YouTube streams, for a band that old to get that quick, he really, really promoted the hell out of it, did really well with it. So it was kind of nice. But I have a buddy online who went and saw him in December, I think, and said, his voice is pretty rough live.
He can't reach the high notes anymore.
Yeah.
But he's a longtime smoker too, and I think that had a lot.
And drinker.
Smoker and drinker, yes. So I don't think he took care of his voice over the years.
No.
But on this album, he's fantastic for me. I totally love his vocals. And one small quick fact, so this is how Horror Metal Sounds was born. I first started working for blistering.com back in the day. When the site folded, one of the editors on the site decided to open his own site, Dead Rhetoric. And I've talked about them, and I know, Billy, you've met David at one in the past. He's a bit of a dick, but besides the point, I had started a column on there called Horror Metal Sounds. That's how it started, as a column. He wanted me to do something that was horror related. So, okay, fine. So I wrote the initial column. He liked it. We published it. Second column, I wanted to cover Dokken, and I wanted to cover, of course, Nightmare on Elm Street. And he was against it. He said, I don't want any coverage of Dokken on my website. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I called him a music snob right to his face. He fired me on the spot. I didn't care. I was so angry. I was like, are you fucking insane? Like, what is wrong with Dokken? I mean, are you like a fucking music snob? And I called him a music snob. He didn't like that. But anyways, so Rich, I told Rich at the time, and he was like, well, fuck it. Why don't we just do our own site? And I'm like, okay, I'm game. And that's pretty much how Horror Metal Sounds was born. We took it and we built the site and we started from scratch. But I just don't understand people who have that kind of attitude. It's like, well, okay, I know you don't like Dokken, but it's an article. You asked me to write one, and I wrote one, and I'm not going to back down from the article because that's how I felt about it. So it was really stupid, but anyway.
I like the video too for Dream Warriors where he's carrying away George Lynch at the end.
Yes, yeah. The video is fantastic. I just don't understand people with that kind of an attitude. Whether you like the music or not is one thing, but like, if I'm running my website, I'm open to everyone and to anything. Like, if you want to bring in black metal, fine. If you want to bring in thrash metal, I don't care. Like, I'm open to everything. I didn't understand people have that. Oh, I can't have that on my site. Why? What's wrong with the music? Anyways, it's strange story, but so I thought I'd share that.
It's funny. Dawkins is a band, not because I don't like them. It's just a band I never really tried.
Right.
Like back in the 80s, like I liked, probably my favorite of that style was Cinderella. I really liked their stuff. So I was into that, but I just never actually bought one of their albums.
Interesting.
So yeah.
My wife loves Dawkins, and we like share very few bands that we like together, but Dawkins one of them. LA Guns is another one.
Yeah, when George left and did Lynch Mob, I know Rich was a huge fan. He loved Lynch Mob. He was really into them.
Lynch Mob's good, yeah.
I've seen Lynch Mob a bunch of times. They're great live, but I know I don't talk much about them, but yeah, that's a band that I can totally relate to, and without that we wouldn't have Horror Metal Sound. So
cool.
That's interesting. Like I did pick up, I found a copy recently of, what is it called? Locked something, or
Under Lock and Key.
Under Lock and Key, yeah.
Good
like,
album.
I still haven't spun it yet, but
wicked album.
My first intro to the band.
Yeah, you'll like it. It's not. It's heavy. It's got a bit of hair metal to it, but I love the album. It's really
great album.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with that. Good choice.
All right. Well, it was the only one there. I just picked.
Yeah, you go right.
I can't take any credit for it. All right. So my 6 and 5. So another one we've done a podcast on. So I'm going Rust in Peace again. 89, 1990 is my prime time. This is 1990. So you guys know I haven't been necessarily the biggest fan of Megadeth on all their albums, but this I truly believe is a masterpiece, right? Like I know we've talked about, Dave being upset he got the boot from like Metallica, but I mean, this is his revenge, I think.
Yeah.
This holds incredibly strong, in my opinion, it's my number 6. I have a Metallica album, Heavier. So like so it doesn't replace it, but I will go on record and say this is definitely the best Megadeth lineup. I know that's a personal thing, but Nick Menz, Marty Friedman, and I will say the guitar work on here between Dave and Marty is as good as anything the German Big Four or the US Big Four has ever done. I know that's a bold statement, but I don't think, like my number 1 is a Big Four album, but and I love it. And but I don't think the guitar work is any better than what we get on this thing.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah. We've talked about sorry?
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah, no, agree. And it's pretty good for Dave, right? Like this thing went platinum, so he sold 1 million copies.
Yeah.
I mean, the comparable Metallica album, sold many millions. I mean, there's nothing to be ashamed about, right? No one else in the Big Four was selling 1 million copies, right? For a thrash metal band to go platinum is unheard of, right? I mean, Slayer didn't do it, and I looked it up. So yeah, no, great
great
album
cover, dude.
Yeah.
That's a great cover.
Yeah. I don't know what I'd pick, this or Peace Sells as the best one, but
yeah, it's hard. Tough. Yeah, I know it's hard.
Maybe Peace Sells slightly more. But I don't know, too hard to say. And shout out to Ellison. There's some great bass stuff in here too.
Yeah.
So that kind of works for me. And so my number 5. So I'll be curious to see if Ken has a Death album, because Death is my next album. It's different from Jim's. And I have a feeling if Ken does have one, it's going to be different than this one.
Okay.
I go back and forth, right? Like I probably, well, anyways, I'll just show it. So I'm going.
Okay.
And it's a battle in my mind.
Yeah. It's a great album. I see why you think that way. Yeah. Human is a good album. I would agree.
but spiritual is like when I had my list like a year
Mhm.
ago, even spiritual was my favorite death.
Same
Like
with me.
I've been listening to this a lot lately, and
Right.
so like yeah, like I've always liked technical thrash and technical death metal, and
Yeah, yeah.
so like I think maybe it's just where my mind's at like this month, but like the lineup is insane, right? So you
Hmm.
got Steve DiGiorgio on bass, but like
Yep.
I love Cynic, so you end up pulling Paul Masvidal or however he pronounces his name, and Sean Reinhardt on drums. I
Yep.
mean, Sean, I mean, we always talk about Gene Hoglan in death, and as a drummer, I would argue Sean Reinhardt's a more diverse and better drummer.
Absolutely.
He brought like a real sort of jazz swing to
Mhm.
the drumming on this album, which is pretty interesting, right? Because that was new for death. Um, but yeah, so for me, it's the Cynic guys, I think, that kind of push this over the edge. Lack of comprehension
Yeah,
just might
great
be my
song.
favorite death song of all time.
Yeah.
But anyways, in my view, Chuck can do no wrong. Uh,
No,
I
I
love
agree.
Jim's pick. Yeah, like I don't think there could be. I don't think I don't know understand why someone might pick Scream Bloody Gore as their best, but
Yeah,
like they're
it's
just
okay.
yeah, like it's just not like
Yeah.
No,
their work, right? But
no,
anything
no, no.
else somebody picks, I think it's fair game. Like there's a case for it.
Cool.
And
Um,
I picked spiritual higher than leprosy on my picks. So I was like,
You
man,
flip flops.
it's just been leprosy for me over the last year.
yeah. So yeah, all great stuff, right? And
Yeah.
so sad we lost Chuck so
Yeah.
early.
Yeah,
And we've talked about this before. Who knows where his music would have went?
Oh,
yeah.
That's what I miss most, right?
yeah.
Just not hearing where he would have brought his music to. So
Very
cool.
true.
All right, Jim. We're
Oh,
getting towards the end. We got four more each. So you got four and number three.
so I'll get a pick here for Rich. You had one with Maiden. I'm going to go with
Yeah.
Power Slave.
Cool.
I mean, you know what? Everything you guys said about Somewhere in Time, love it. One of my favorite albums. But I mean, I got to see this tour. It was my first show ever. These guys in Twisted Sister, 1984. I was 13. Parents drove us, me and my best friend there. His parents picked us up. There was so much controversy around this show. They enacted a curfew. They thought there was going to be rioting, and really nothing happened. So Halifax, the Bible thumping town, they were worried about Iron Maiden and Twisted Sister changing all of us, and we ended up waking up the next morning to go to school with my Power Slave shirt on. I mean, I love
Nice.
the Eddie,
Yeah, that's so
the
great.
Mummy Eddie. Oh, the whole
The
show is
YouTube.
amazing. I still replay it in my mind when I'm drinking, and that's all the time. So I just love it. I mean, you know what? I love all Iron Maiden. I love the albums that came before this. But like Number of the Beast just doesn't have the attachment that Power Slave has for me. And
Yeah.
I love the Diano albums as well. Excuse me. But just this was my Iron Maiden that I picked up. I remember buying a copy on cassette at Kmart. So that tells
Oh,
you
wow.
how long ago it was, because Kmart's no longer around in Canada. And I remember buying it in Kmart. So that's my pick. Oh, favorite songs on here. I mean, you got Aces High, 2 Minutes to Midnight,
Yep.
Back in the Village, Flash of the Blade, and Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. I did a school project in grade 10 on the song because it was a Samuel Taylor Coleridge poem, isn't it? Or short story
Yeah,
poem?
poem.
Yeah. And, the guy was heavily on opiates, I think, when he wrote a lot of his stuff. So,
Yep.
and such a great premise for their song. And I absolutely love it. So,
Cool.
so cool. And I saw them on this tour, saw them on, and Seventh Son of the Seventh Son, great pick. I saw them on that tour, and I saw them on No Prayer for the Dying with Anthrax. So that was really
I
cool.
saw that tour too.
And my number three, I'm heading to the big four again.
Woo!
We got ourselves some
Yeah.
South of Heaven. I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. It's like point of a point ahead of the Raining Blood for me, and Hell Awaits, and even even Show No Mercy. I mean, this album is just so good. I love it. I love Behind the Crooked Cross, Mandatory Suicide, Ghosts of War. And the Dissident Aggressor cover from Priest is phenomenal on here. I think that was one of my favorite covers on the episode I'm going to talk about, our favorite episode. But this is just such a great album, and it was unrelenting. It was a quick album, but, and this was Rick Rubin, produced by Rick Rubin as well. Just killer. I love the, being, when did this come out? 1988. Yeah. Again, a strong year for thrash and metal. 17 years old. I mean, had the life by the balls. I don't know what happened. Anyways, I don't want to sidetrack.
And don't forget the podcast we did on it.
Yes, and we did the podcast on it as well.
What I like about that album, it's like so they do Rain and Blood, which sort of sets the peak for aggression.
Yeah,
and everyone wanted Rain and Blood too. I'm guilty of that as well. But they kind of slow things down. And it's not a slow album. It's not like a country music album or something. but I mean, I just love the fact that they said, screw that, we're gonna do something different. Like it's still Slayer for sure, but just slow it down, get heavier. I just have a lot of respect for them for doing that.
More melodic for sure.
Yeah.
And their next album I really like too, but it's a little bit more, I consider that their Black album, where it was more, I mean, they had videos for Seasons, but a great album, but not as good as those first albums in my mind, but still a really great album.
Yep.
So those are my guys.
So I'm kind of amazed that we don't have a match yet between any of us.
We do.
I know one's coming because
we have cause of death. Me and you.
Yeah, no, like I haven't showed it yet, but yeah.
Oh,
but yeah. So I know one's coming. But I thought we'd have more by now.
Oh, we have one more.
Okay. All right. Ken, over to you.
Sure. So, well, of course, I'm going to go. We're going back to death, but of course, I'm never going to move my position on this album. It's probably my all-time favorite death metal album, period, for me. And I know we've talked about it on a different podcast, but this album is, I love this album. There's every song I like. The vocals are so, they're off the charts for me. This is the one album where he doesn't sound like anything from previous albums or albums coming in the future. And it has James Murphy. How can you go wrong with the great James Murphy playing on guitar on this? This is such a great album. I mean, it really, there's not much to say other than that like this is perfection at its best, I think. And that album cover is amazing. Ed Repka. Wow. I play this. This is probably the death metal album I play the most. Next to Morbid Angel, this is the other band I play. I play this album so much, but I love this album.
I think it's really cool and says a lot about our tastes because each one of us have had a different death album. I love that.
Yeah,
in our top 10.
Well, you know what? But cool. What you guys all picked are all good.
Same with you.
And Leprosy is an amazing album.
Yeah,
so you can't go wrong with whatever death album you pick, as far as I'm concerned. But
I think the one you showed, Ken, is the best death album cover.
Yes.
Yeah. I love
that album.
I love this album cover. It's so great. And
sorry, go ahead.
No, go on, Bill.
No, I was just going to say, you guys saw the clip I sent you of, I saw there's somebody I follow on Instagram who has an amazing like vinyl metal collection, but he actually had those as like figurines, like that album cover.
Yeah. I saw your
that was really cool. Like I'd love to get my hands on.
I had no idea where he got those from.
No, I'm going to send him a note and ask him.
Yeah, go ahead. I'd like to know myself. I'm curious too.
Yeah. And the re-release version of that, the re-release version of that, just like the Leprosy one, has the bonus CD, but it also has the drawings in there.
Yes.
Of like him doing it rough and then kind of how it took form. Really cool.
Yeah, it has the rough sketches that.
That's what it's called. Yeah,
that's
you're
good. That's a good point, Jim.
Yeah,
that's a really good point. If you like the artwork, then check that out too.
Yeah.
But it's an album I love. I will never not love that album. It's always the one I go to for me. And number three, of course, I will go with Peace Cells.
Nice.
It's my favorite of the bunch. I mean, yeah, Rust in Peace. It's a great album. It's a classic. We'll never, it'll never not be. But I've always liked this album, Rust in Peace. All the songs are great. I love Chris Poland. I love the guitar work on this. I love all the album covers. Probably my one of my favorite album covers. And we
Love
did
it.
a podcast on it. And this is such a great album. What more can you say about that album?
You know, it's interesting. I often wonder if they had started off with that album, eh? Like their first album was a little bit kind of seemed rushed and on a shoestring, but I mean, still some great stuff on it. I like it, but that album, the sophomore album, just oh man, talk about
brilliant.
igniting their career.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love it. I totally love it. I mean, it's much different than what we when we talked about so far, so what, so good. But you know, I mean, hey, it's Megadeth. That's all I can say.
Cool. I'm curious
Right.
to see if that one ends up on Jim's last couple.
I have it here from our last week's podcast. It's sitting right here, but no.
Oh. Okay, cool. All right, so my number 4. So yeah, this is the first official repeat. So Obituary.
Sorry, Billy.
Sorry?
Sorry, I called it out on you.
No, that's fine. 1990 again, no surprise there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, Obituary is actually from like a end-to-end career, my favorite band.
Same with
in any style of music. So obviously they're also my favorite death metal band. I think John Tardy, and again, this is personal tasting, but is the best death metal singer. And kudos to him. He still sounds exactly the same. When he's up on that stage today, as he did when I saw him on the Slowly We Rot tour. So it's pretty incredible that you would think he would have graded his voice by now, but no, it's perfect. And these guys are touring machines, so he's doing something right for sure. But just their signature, like slow, heavy groove, like on those early albums, like it's just it's so memorable. And you mentioned this, Ken, James Murphy, who was a bit of a superstar bouncing around from album to album. And he, he's a big part of this album as well. So kudo to him. And I think I told this story before. I was very late to Celtic Frost. So the first time I actually heard a Celtic Frost song was Circle of Tyrants on here. And then I went backwards, right? I love that song when I heard them play it. Just flipping around, I'm like, what is this Celtic Frost? I mean, I definitely heard of the band and I saw their videos like on Much Music, I'm sure. Before that, but so much music to buy, you can't get everything. But yeah, after hearing this, I ran out and bought the Celtic Frost album. So, and my number 3 and number 4, every day they could flip. So my number 3, easily my all-time favorite albums. Beneath the Remains, Sepultura, and for me, like I like this because it kind of bridges the gap. It's death thrash. You definitely get hints of both on here. It's just this a monumental leap forward in songwriting, musicianship, and then you obviously bring in what's his name from Morrisound, produced and mixed this thing, Scott Burns. So I mean, so this has a bit of a Florida sound to it. The killer riffs, the shredding solos, the drums are just vicious, and I like Mac's vocals, right? Like they're just these angry vocals, but yeah, and then his accent just adds a little more flavor to his words when he's singing. So yeah, and for me, like Lobotomy, I just they never play it live, unfortunately, and sadly they rarely play anything from this album live, which is one of my biggest pet peeves. But I don't think there's a weak track on this thing. This is a masterpiece, my favorite Sepultura album.
Same with mine.
Yeah, love it. And then, of course, we've talked about it before, right?
Yeah.
These are technically flipped album covers.
Yep.
They were
Right.
meant to go the other way around.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool. All right, Jim. Now we're down to the wire.
Well, we got our
album number 2 and album number 1.
Why don't
album
we
number 2.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Wait, hang on. What'd you say, Ken?
Sorry, before we go ahead, why don't we do number 2 as a, and then we'll
Yeah,
do
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just for the fun of it, right?
So we got another repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have much else to say. Billy talked about it in length, and yeah, this is a masterpiece for me. I'd have to say, like, I agree that like Obituary, my favorite death metal band. I'd have to say my favorite metal band. I'd break it into 2. That would be Metallica, old Metallica. Megadeth's probably my favorite all time, only because I find they've put out, their catalog's been a little bit more true to the movement, true to form, and just better in my mind, with a couple of stinkers in there, but not like the latter albums in Metallica. But Megadeth, I mean, this album's a masterpiece. Although I love So Far, So Good, So What. I love Killing Is My Business. And I mean, I absolutely love Peace Sells. I think that was probably my first album I ever got with Megadeth when it came out, was Peace Sells. Devil's Island's one of my favorite tracks of all time. But this takes Angry Dave, best lineup. I agree with you guys. I find Marty Friedman fantastic. And I think this is just lightning in a bottle for them. It took it one step higher. I mean, yeah, look, I'm the first one to agree. We just came off of the So Far, So Good, So What podcast. One of my favorites, but doesn't hold a candle to this. It's unfairly sandwiched in between 2 killer albums, and at a kind of a rough time in their career, going through a lot of change and upheaval. But this righted the ship. And I really think, in the next album, Euthanasia, it wasn't Euthanasia, the next album. It was
Countdown to Extinction.
Countdown?
Yeah. Countdown, yeah. Sorry. Countdown went in a different direction, more like the Black Album. Yeah. I love Countdown to Extinction too. I wish they would have kind of maybe reverted back to this. Euthanasia still a good album, but wasn't, they started kind of losing a bit of steam after Countdown. So, but this is just lightning in a bottle. I agree with everything you said there.
Cool. And of course, I think we have a Countdown episode as well.
Yeah, we do. And
that's right.
We have a Countdown episode.
We did Rust, Countdown, and Peace. So we did all the classic period of the band.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's interesting, eh? Like, we haven't done 3 Slayer, or we haven't done 3 Metallica. Somehow that one crept up on us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
And
all right.
We're just
my number 2.
Number 2?
Yeah, my number 2, of course, we talked about this already. The Master of Puppets. It's my favorite Metallic album. Jim's got it there. I mean, really, there's not much I can say about it. We've already discussed it on our podcast, but it's a total classic album. Love this album cover. Every song's a banger. There's not one song I don't like, even though I know Billy doesn't like it. The one song Billy doesn't like on it so much, but whatever.
It's my favorite.
Every other one.
I know you do. Yeah, of course you do. I would be shocked if you said that you didn't like all the songs on it, to be honest with you. How could you not like this album? It's everything that we all grew up, with thrash metal, and it's such a great album. But that's my number 2.
Okay. I'm wondering if we'll see Metallica again. But, I actually, I know Ken's. I know what's coming up for him.
I was looking for my Asia CD. I don't know what I did with it.
Actually, I was just going to throw it to Jim, but then I realized I still have 2 albums.
Yeah, you got your number 2.
So, yeah, it's fine. So, yeah, so I'm going Slayer.
Yeah.
Rain and Blood. So,
of course.
Again, I love South of Heaven. I love everything before it. I mean, I would say from a beginning to end career, Slayer would probably be my favorite thrash band. I mean, there's a couple Metallica albums that are better, but from a beginning to end and a live music career from beginning to end, I'd have to go Slayer. But yeah, we talked about this. I mean, just we have a podcast. It was just so influential. I mean, the aggression, the speed, like the relentless intensity. I mean, everything was brought to a new level. For me, there's a connection here just because at 86, this really led me down the path for more extreme metal.
Nice.
Couldn't get enough, right? It led to, like as much thrash as I could get, as much death as I can get. Everything but black metal came from this thing. So, and we've said it before. I think it's the first and last track are the best.
Mhm.
And close of an album. I mean, just maybe controversial, but I think Angel of Death and Raining Blood are the two best thrash songs ever written.
Can't argue that.
Uh, yeah, like I just love it. I mean, it was, I mean, and for Slayer, this is pretty good, right? So this thing went gold in the US. So that doesn't sound as great as platinum. It's 500,000 copies. But, I was looking it up. I mean, no one has a good sense of how many were sold to this day.
Mhm.
But they're saying it's between 1.5 million and 2 million copies, which is pretty incredible given how extreme this album is, right? So
Yeah.
kudos to Slayer. I have like probably 7 or 8 versions of this album. This is like this particular one is I've never even opened it. It's
Okay.
a special run that was done 666 copies.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
This thing goes for about $390 US now.
Wow.
I don't want to open it, and like I said,
No.
I have many play copies already. So, but yeah, killer album.
And you know what,
Cool.
Billy? I stand correct. Probably Slayer has the best. The only reason why I pick Megadeth is probably because they're still going with releases. But yeah, in my mind, I don't think Slayer has any bad albums. Even Diabolus, which a lot of people bag on, there's a couple there. I still think they're great albums.
Yeah, I think there's a couple. I mean, every album there's things I liked on it, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I
Yeah.
definitely prefer the older versus the newer, but there was still stuff I liked on everything.
I love like Christ Illusion. I love that album.
Yeah, no,
You know?
definitely some good songs on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're down to the big
Number one.
one. So yeah, I definitely know what Jim's is. Like, I bet you half our audience knows.
Yep.
But go ahead, show it. Yeah.
There you go. Kill them all, boys. I mean, this album, I've got like 5 copies. I've got it on vinyl, splatter vinyl. This thing's falling apart. I even said there, I think I've even got the CD rod happening on this one. It's
shit.
just, I've got so many copies. This is my old school one that I play all the time and that. But I mean, for me, this is where it all began. I mean, I remember picking this up. I still on my Facebook, I shared the picture. I should have brought it up with me. I don't think I have it here. I've got the actual cassette for the Bonsai Records original release without the 2 bonus tracks, which were Blitzkrieg and Am I Evil. So that's kind of neat. I mean, this was just a killer album for me. I like the fast kind of downplayed production. I thought it was really good. John Zazula was the executive producer on this. So, you got to look at it from that point of view. This was just, and I think it was Hit the Lights they had on the Metal Massacre 2 volume, I think, which kind of catapulted them even further. Did really, really well. The albums on this, the songs on this are just phenomenal. There's not a bad song. Metal Militia, Hit the Lights, The Four Horsemen, so many classics. A very fresh sounding, energetic band of the time that had this essence of they just were there. I love Metallica. They get up on stage back then with just their jean jackets, what they wore to the show. I love that. No puffy shirts, no garbage. They just get there, play their stuff, drink some beer, and go home.
Yep. Destroy, man. They just
yeah. just amazing. And you look up the old concert footage. I never got to see them until the Damaged Justice tour, which was amazing. Jealousy, you guys got to see them on the Lightning tour, or sorry, Master of Puppets tour. I think, did you guys see them on Lightning tour? No,
I missed Lightning.
Yeah. So the Master of Puppets tour, which would have been amazing, and I mean, obviously the original lineup with kind of the original lineup as we know now, with without Dave in there. To cap on exactly what Billy was saying, and I think that's 100% right. I mean, as much as it sucked to have Mustaine fired from the band, but we would have been denied the whole Megadeth experience. And I think with that, I think it made Metallica better, in the sense that they knew that these albums were coming. Like, it always seemed like almost the same year a Metallica Megadeth album would be released. And I really like Megadeth for so many other different reasons, but I think that we got a really good break there with that happening. At the time, I'm sure when he was taking his bus trip back and he was writing Set the World Afire on his cupcake wrapper, he probably wasn't thinking that. But, being the greedy metal fan that I am, and I know you guys are, we're better off for it. But I mean, his handprints and writing is all over this. And I think that's really cool, as well as right up until almost the third album to some degree. And I love the fact that they wanted to call it Metal Up Your Ass. The record company said no, so they decided to just go with a very basic cover with Cliff's hammer, Kill 'Em All.
I like that cover, actually.
So do I. I like it. I thought the other one was kind of campy,
Yeah.
The one with the toilet, it's kind of, I get it, but I like this album. Cover. I like it as well. Basic, but gets the word across. And if you get a chance to watch any of the live shows, like when they were doing a lot of bar stuff and that with this, I like the one where he has the album there and he throws copies out there and they just get destroyed. And I mean, this was Metallica just all balls out, leaving everything on the stage. So, and then the next 3 albums to come, and I'll throw the Black Album in there. 4 albums. They just totally changed the landscape for selling albums and for thrash metal. So my number 1.
Cool.
There we go. We got 3 different. Okay. I almost gave away my last pick. So
I know it's
going to ditch that sentence. So, like, I know what Ken's got coming, but before we go there, Jim, I thought for sure you'd have an Anthrax in your top 10.
Man, Among the Living was definitely would be my. I love Fistful. I think that was my number 1. Among the Living was number 2. Spreading the Disease, I love, but I could have had Among the Living in there. Just kind of eked itself out. Same with Testament, The New Order. That just got eked out. Same with Bonded by Blood. Just missed it for me as well.
Yeah, it's so hard, right? Like 10 albums, right? Like when you've been around as old as we are, you've heard so many different bands. So
yeah.
Oh well. Okay, Ken, over to you.
All right, you know what I have coming up. I have Among the Living. So Jim doesn't have it, but I do.
Yeah.
And, for me, I know we did the podcast on it. For me, it's the album of my youth. For me, it's for what I can say about it, it's got everything I wanted on an album. It has the aggression, it has the punk sound. All the songs are killer. Among the Living, Condomosh, I Am the Law, the Judge Dredd song. Yeah. Skeletons in the Closet, Indians, One World. It's
NFL.
NFL. Like, what can I say? It's got a great cover by Don Brottingham, who did Master of Puppets for Metallica. I love the whole kind of concept of Randall Flagg and using the poltergeist kind of concept on there as well. So I love it. It's there's not much more I can say about it. It's the album that I totally live by. I love that back cover. You can see Charlie wearing the Day of the Dead t-shirt. I love it. I love the fact that they're in this subway. They all got long hair. They all got the leather jackets. They're bitching. They're it's just when I saw that, I was blown away. It's like, whoa.
And
But
they have the white high top sneakers. You
Oh
can't see
yeah,
them.
yeah. They all have the sneakers, the really tight jeans. But
Jen
yeah, this
Spitz on
album.
it is awesome.
What's that?
Spitz is awesome on it.
Oh yeah. Spitz is an
I
underrated
think
lead guitarist.
phenomenal.
Yeah. I've always felt that they, when he retired from music, they lost a great guitarist.
Yeah.
It's part of life. What are you going to do? But yeah, I lived this album. I still live it. I listen to it all the time. I never stop listening to it. I remember when I first bought it, I played it to death in my bedroom. My dad would walk in and go, "What the fuck are you listening to?" And I would say, "It's Anthrax," and he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about," but you know, it's not the kind of music my dad would like. But I loved it, and I lived it, and saw that tour, and it blew me away. And yeah, what can I say? It's just the album of my youth.
What year was that again, Ken?
87.
Oh, 87. Okay, yeah, I thought it was 88, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, 88 would have been the
State of Euphoria.
Euphoria. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, this album, I just I never not. It's the two albums I listen to the most. It's Master of Puppets and Among the Living. There's those two
Cool.
albums I always have like on play on my iPod. Never not stop listening to them. But it's great.
Cool.
So
Yeah, my parents never got my music either. They kept telling me you're gonna grow out of it.
Same here.
Yeah, I got that.
Here we are, 52, 53, and we're sitting here doing this every week on thrash metal. So, and going to concerts and festivals. I mean, they couldn't have been any further from the truth, because it just got more and more as the years go on.
Once we all got money and jobs with money.
Yeah, exactly, right.
That's true, Jim. That's very true.
Yeah. And I like that thing you were saying, Jim, about I'm causing you money. Like, that's a great line from, I know you guys watch it too, the Sea of Tranquility podcast, and they're always like cursing each other, because every time they go on and show stuff, they're all running to buy it. Like,
oh yeah. Fair enough.
So yeah, my number one, this band has shown up on all three. It would probably show up on everybody's list at least once in some way. I acknowledge I'm probably a minority here. It's not the Black Album, but I'm going and Justice for All. I think something's wrong with this hype sticker. I don't know if you guys could see it, but it's incorrect, factually incorrect. Can you guys read the first?
The greatest, I can't.
Yeah. So
the number 5 greatest album.
It says the 5th greatest heavy metal of all time, album of all time. So obviously I dispute that, because it's my number one. But
you're number one, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I know I'm in the minority. I know, people would like freak out when I say this, but for me, I go in reverse order. Justice is my favorite, then Master, then Ride, and then Kill 'Em All. I mean, what does it for me is just the complexity on here. I just love the 10-minute songs. It's definitely their most progressive and technical work. I mean, Master is fantastic. I mean, this is ahead of Master not by a whole hell of a lot, but I think it's fantastic. I just love the long songs. I mean, the band was very clear that the Black Album happened because they were sick to death of playing these 10-minute songs, and the complex arrangements were driving them nuts. It was no fun to play live, but it was sure fun to listen to it. So yeah, I mean, there's not a weak track on here in my opinion. I love Blackened. I love the track, Harvester of Sorrow. Just like Master, it's got a long a musical, To Live Is to Die. Frayed Ends of Sanity, the thrashing closer, Dyer's Eve at the end, and kudos to these guys, right? I mean, sure, they did a video for one, which is a fantastic song, a fantastic video, and it definitely helped with sales. But these guys did 8 times platinum with this. Right, that's 8 million. I know it's nothing compared to the Black Album, but
Mhm.
for something like that was still thrash. Nobody, I mean, this thing was like probably sold more copies at this time than the German Big Four and the US Big Four put together, right? Because
Oh
there's
yeah,
1 million copies. So yeah,
And they lost the Grammy that year to
yeah.
Jethro Tull.
oh God. I still remember like watching I specifically stayed to watch it.
Yeah.
And
Same here.
I think
Same
my
here, dude.
jaw like you hit the floor when they did that.
Yeah.
Everybody was shocked.
Clearly an academy, you have no idea who probably have no idea who Metallica is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe not even Jethro Tull, because I mean they're clearly
Well,
not.
I'm sure Tull was equally surprised too. So
Yeah, yeah. You know what's funny? I don't remember if they were there.
No,
yeah,
If they
no, I don't think they were there.
Okay.
no.
Because it would have been cool of them to go up and when they accept the award and say, hey, this really is, Metallica's award, or this really belongs to the other 3 or 4 nominees.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Was
well.
it for Aqualung?
No.
No, it's
No, that's
for
an old
Crest of
one.
a Knave.
Aqualung's quite a bit earlier.
It's
Yeah.
Crest of a Knave that they would have
Okay.
been for.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
Which-
mind Jethro Tull, but not enough to.
I like Aqualung.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Aqualung too. Crest of a Knave
Thick
is
as a
actually
Brick is pretty good.
Got
Yeah.
a brand new album out, I think, or coming out.
Yeah, they do. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Coming out this year.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll
What
win
was
a
that?
Grammy.
Yeah. There's like a 3 or 4 album run I like,
Yep.
like Around Thick as a Brick and
Brick.
Aqualung. It's not, I mean, it's not metal, like
No,
but every now and then we can't always listen to metal.
no.
No, but it's got good attitude.
Yeah.
I've always it has some
Yeah.
really nice guitar licks on that on Aqualung to me, anyways. I've always liked that song.
It's just a bit hard to say
Yeah.
when the starring instrument is the flute. That is
But
very
then-
metal, but
Ian's a great. I love his flute playing. I
Oh, yeah.
love
Yeah,
his
me
solo
too.
records.
yeah,
I love his
like
solo
it.
records. He's
Yeah,
great.
no, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, but Crest of a Knave is not. I have the album. It's not metal. It's hard rock. I guess at times maybe that would be the best way to
And
categorize.
I think Metallica played at that Grammys, didn't they? They were back.
Yes, they did.
Wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did. Yeah.
'Cause Whoopi Goldberg was like, everybody looked shocked when they played because they were so heavy.
Didn't they play
Fat.
one? I thought they played one.
I think they
wasn't it?
played one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense, right? That was the
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh well.
Hard life.
All right, so that was fun.
Yes, sir.
So now let's go to picking. Say if we could each say a few words about our favorite Thrashcast episode. So there's 50 of them to choose from. Jim went first last time. Ken, do you want to do this?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay.
So yeah, of course, me episode 11 among the living. It was a great talk. I know Billy, you struggled a little bit with it because I know it's not your favorite album, but I do remember like a comment left on our YouTube page from your friend Metalheaded One, who is like, I have to hand it. He gave us a compliment stating like, I have to hand it. You guys you handled this really well. No arguments, no fighting. You're really gracious about who liked what and who didn't like what. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. We didn't really clash over it. It's just a matter of opinion. One person likes it, one person doesn't. But I thought it was a really good episode. It's my favorite album, so I got a chance to discuss my favorite album at length. I forget, what did we do for the top 10? Do you guys remember offhand?
I was just going to ask you that question.
No.
I know. I'm the guy that likes the episode, and I didn't even look it up.
I think maybe it was
Would it have been
Anthrax
ranked
albums?
the Anthrax albums?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm sure
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we ranked them. Yeah. Okay.
Because I went through that exercise,
Yeah.
so I know it had to have been there.
Yeah. You're probably right. Yeah, I should have looked that up. I wasn't thinking.
And
But
I
yeah,
think our first.
What's that?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I think probably our first 5 to 10, or first 10 episodes, we were doing a lot of ranking all the albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And then we started switching it up.
And we did good on the views. We had like over 211 views on that one. So lots of comments. That was one of the more popular episodes. And then Rich and I followed that up with an episode of Horror Metal Flashbacks where we discussed Anthrax. So that also helped to contribute. But yeah, it was a fun episode. I'm glad we did it, and it's not everyone's cup of tea, but we got through it, and everyone had a good time. At least I think.
Yeah, I mean they're part of the big four, right? A lot of people love them, so
yeah, for sure. So episode 11 was my pick.
Okay. If we were to do another Anthrax album, what would be your pick, Ken?
Probably Persistence.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that would be.
And I know that's an album you actually like. So
that was my favorite of the.
Yeah. So I would say Persistence would be the next one for us to do, because I think they went back to basics. They got back to the heavier, serious sounds. So yeah, I'd say Persistence.
Okay, cool. Is that it, Ken?
Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, cool. Jim, over to you.
Yeah, for me, it was episode 26. So I liked when we tackled the Black album because I was able to get a lot of stuff off my chest. But no, seriously, I like the fact that we have a little bit of we're not always in 100% agreement. We usually pick albums. I mean, we are all big thrash fans. So usually, and we all have very similar tastes, but it's kind of nice, especially to have a discussion with an album that was so popular. And I think it was hosted by Ken, I believe.
Yeah.
To have an album that was it was so successful. Their most successful album to date, one of the most best-selling metal albums of all time. But for we were fairly split. Ken and I think Ken, you really liked it. Both me and Billy I was a little bit more hateful. Billy was a little bit more negative, but more on the fence, I guess, or we were both not really liking it as much. But I went back and rewatched, kind of skimmed through it, and we got to talk a lot about newer Metallica, the albums that followed this, and the change in their style, and why they did it and how they did it, and with the whole Bob Rock influence. I even saw my comment on there that I thought Bob Rock ruined Metallica, but anyways, it was. We were going through it, and I think I like those type of episodes because that when there's an important album, whether you like it or not, nobody can deny the fact, including myself, that this was one of the best-selling, supposedly thrash albums of all time, and took Metallica to new heights. Metallica now can do whatever the hell they want because of this album. And kudos for them. I just but I like the fact that we were able to tackle sort of such a hot topic online, where there's a lot going on with Metallica's Metallica's newer stuff versus their older stuff, fans being split, everybody thinking we're gatekeeping the old stuff and we don't want to not like the new stuff. And I thought that was really set for a great discussion, and I'm glad we did it. And our top 10 on that one was our top 10 cover songs by bands. So
yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. So that was kind of
cool.
Like
that.
Yeah. So we were always pissed off about some of the cover songs. So we actually tackled actual cover songs by heavy metal bands that we liked. So I know I had the Aerosmith one off of the New Order for Testament, and there was all kinds on there. I just quickly breezed through it. But if anybody, definitely check that episode out. It's a cool episode. I think it's currently at 220 views or 215 or something. But definitely check that one out. That's one of my favorites.
Do you by any chance remember what my favorite was? I don't even remember that that list. I know we did it, but
I don't remember. No.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Do you remember yours, Ken?
No, I don't.
Yeah, no, I don't. I can't remember.
As a cover song, it probably would have been Metallica. I think it would have been I Am Evil, or that would have been close to it, because that's.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, maybe.
I think it was. I think I had I Am Evil because I think that's such a great song. But
yeah, no, you're right. Maybe I was there too. That one.
Because I remember saying that, and I know Jim's mentioned this too, that when he first heard the song, he thought it was a Metallica song, and I did.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's not. It's Diamond Head, but I think that was my number. I think it was my number one pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I think one of us got to go back to where it all started. So, episode number one, Creator, Pleasure to Kill. So yeah, great album. We all love that album. The top 10 was ranking the Creator discography. That was tough, like
Yes.
15 or 16 or however many albums that was probably one of the harder exercises in terms of ranking
Yeah.
I had to go through anyways. Um, but yeah, no, like again, just thinking back, right? I mean, when we did that episode, the three of us had kind of worked together very briefly, doing a couple podcasts for another site.
Hmm.
But we enjoyed doing it. We enjoyed working together, and so yeah, we took the leap and went down this journey. I don't know about you guys. I don't know that I thought we'd be here a year later.
Mhm.
But I do know a year later, I'm as happy doing episode 50 as I was, and I enjoy doing episode 50 as much as I enjoy doing number one. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I think that kind of says something there. It's a sign we kind of enjoy working together. And you
Mhm.
guys mentioned it. We're not going to agree on everything. Uh,
No, no.
and so that makes sense. And it'd be pretty damn boring if we just did agree
Yeah.
on everything. And like I think just I think we've come a long way in the episodes, right?
Mhm.
Our previous podcasts we had done together were not on video. So I think
No.
we all sort of become more comfortable with the whole video thing, and
Yes.
our transitions are cleaner, and we're getting to know each other a lot better. So that our banter, we're more comfortable going back and forth. Whereas in the early days, we didn't, or your typical nice Canadians, we didn't want to say anything negative to offend each other, right? So, but yeah, I think it shows that we're comfortable. And so, yeah, I hope, the audience, feels that way as well and enjoys watching as much as we enjoy doing it. And
Yep.
then one interesting fact, I guess, episode number one is still our most viewed
Let's watch.
episode.
Yeah.
Right, like probably, yeah, like over 400 views if I
Yeah,
remember
it's
right.
close to that. Yeah, it's gone
Uh,
up. It did go up more.
yeah, it's like 404 or 405.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, it went up actually. So I think people are going back now and catching the old ones. So which is good, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, lots of fun. What a journey 1 year later, and hopefully we're doing episode 100 before you know it.
But we will.
Yeah.
Cool. We will, sir.
All right, so that kind of wraps it up. And again, like maybe I'll just sort of mention, we're trying to do some different things, break up the podcast. So again, we would greatly appreciate feedback. Is there anything did you like this? Did you not like it? Do you like the stuff we're doing in the final episode, where now we're going back to picking an album from a year and doing a bit more of a deep dive on it? Yeah, it's just really helpful to get that feedback. So please share. We don't get offended. So if there's something you
No,
don't like, it's just helpful to know.
absolutely, for sure.
All right.
Awesome.
So let's go to the close. So like I said, the planning never stops. We keep thinking episodes, and we've got a few ideas we're throwing around, but Ken has got the next week's episode, and we're going to a band we haven't, well, it showed up in some top 10 lists
For me,
once or twice, but we're going to do the self-titled album from Rigor Mortis. So
yeah.
that should be interesting. Some cool album artwork. So I know I haven't listened to it in probably 15 years, probably. So I got some homework to do. Uh,
Great.
I know I
Cool.
like it. I just
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
go back and listen.
It'll be fun. It'll be a fun. It'll be a fun episode
Yep.
for sure.
So yeah, so thanks everyone for tuning in, and
Yep.
we look forward to folks tuning in again the following week.
You betcha. All right,
All right,
guys. Take care.
have a good night.
Yeah.